Hey everybody, this is Robert at Merit Web Project, and today we're going to discuss a drug issue as it pertains to counseling. We're going to talk about marijuana, and that's what we see on the screen here. Um, got a couple of reports that I've put up here. This one is from the Cannabis. It's a pro marijuana site. And, there's a continuing move in the United States to make marijuana legal, not only for medical or medicinal purposes, but for recreational use. And Colorado's probably been the pioneer in that effort, although other states are uh, falling in line on that also. And their argument is that there's little intoxicating difference between marijuana and alcohol. Um, and what I'm going to show you here is that is absolutely not the case at all. If you have a client who is using marijuana or has used marijuana extensively, and they have serious mental issues, there may be a connection between those two. Colorado, and I really believed that this was going to happen when they made marijuana legal in Colorado. I know that over the years, with medical marijuana being legal there, they have refined this product, and it's nowhere near what comes from Mexico and South America, Colombia. It's much more potent, and this particular report says that marijuana is moving from Colorado and Washington State to the Midwest, and this whole article here talks about DEA stopping it in Indiana. Of course, the reason to bring it into Northwest Indiana would be to move it into the Chicago area, metropolitan Chicago area, where there's millions of potential customers. So this marijuana that's been made legal in one state is moving itself to other hotspots across the United States. I seriously doubt that Indiana is the only place this stuff is moving to. There's a reason why people want this as opposed to the Mexican or South American marijuana. Let's move on to this next page here, and we're going to see that this marijuana is a advertisement on one of these pages that is just really messing with the computer. In Colorado, this marijuana that they're producing there, that they're hybridizing, I guess you could say, is much more potent than the stuff from the 60s, 70s, where it was 5 to 7%. This article here, where I've got it highlighted, says under 10, well below 10% of tetrahydrocannabinol, THC. That's the thing that gets you stoned when you smoke marijuana. The 60s, 70s, 80s, people buying dope. They were buying the Mexican, South American stuff at 5, 6, 7% THC. But the stuff in Colorado is ranging from 18% for a marijuana called Loud up to 30 or 35% I've seen. So the potency of this stuff is 3 to 4 times as much as the old stuff, and that is a real issue, as we'll see in one of these last articles here. And this is the, I'm going to close him when we're done because he's the one who keeps popping up ads. The stuff is called loud sometimes, although in Colorado they have dozens of hybrids that they've created. One of them is called loud, but there are a number of other ones. This high potency marijuana on the street is just kind of generically called loud. And looking through some sites, the reason it's called loud is because it smells incredibly strong. Right here it is an extremely important statement. The same goes for all the accumulating research out there about the general link between marijuana and psychosis. That's why we're looking at this here. You're a counselor, you may come across psychosis and wonder where it's coming from. Studies have shown that frequent use of weed might lead to an increased risk of lasting psychosis, not temporary. Look at the word lasting. Psychosis, schizophrenia, and other mental health problems. This is especially true when we think about the fact that this stuff may be 4 times as potent as the older stuff. And we also have to really consider the fact that lasting psychosis it may be the result here. That is extremely dangerous. Not that it can't be dealt with, but when you're dealing with someone in a counseling situation that is using marijuana and they have a psychotic symptomology, you may have to deal with them differently than someone with normal psychosis. Number one, if they're still using the dope, they got to get rid of it. Got to stop using it. It's just simply going to continue to cause a problem. It appears that marijuana is messing with the dopamine levels with this level of THC, and the actual problem that is causing the psychotic symptoms is salience attribution, abnormal salience attribution. What is salience attribution? Salience attribution is when our senses tell us something and then we interpret it. Abnormal or normal salience attribution would be when we hear a rattlesnake, we get heightened and alert and go into reactive mode. How are we going to save ourselves? And normal salience attribution, when we hear a cricket, our brain dismisses it because there's no danger. Abnormal salience attribution might be that the rattlesnake scares you, the cricket scares you. Another thing, if you're crossing a street and somebody honks their horn at you, you get that fight or flight syndrome because you may get hit. Well, if you're walking down the sidewalk and somebody honks their horn, your brain should tell you you're okay, you're on the sidewalk. Well, abnormal salience attribution, the person's going to jump and be all rattled because somebody honked their horn while they were walking on the sidewalk. This will, if allowed to go on a regular basis, create paranoia and psychotic symptoms as a person breaks with reality, especially the criteria A for schizophrenia. Whether or not you're going to call it schizophrenia, I probably wouldn't, but at least criteria A, delusional disorder, whatever might be in order, and this can all be driven by the use of marijuana. You have a client using marijuana, please understand, it's not the same as alcohol. it may have, according to these articles, lasting effects that may not be able to be turned back so easily, even with therapy. Are we talking about brain damage? Well, not necessarily brain damage, but upsetting the levels of dopamine to the point where it doesn't appear that it's coming back that quickly. The dopamine disturbance will be prolonged over time and kind of get set in place. Now, other medications may reverse that. But be aware, if your client's using marijuana, they're putting themselves at risk of psychosis, and they're complicating what you are doing and actually contraindicating what you are doing by continuing to use the substance. So we're going to stop there for now on this. I hope this has been a help, and I hope you can plug it in with your clients.